Hey guys, as you may know, FabuPRO is finally launching a complete eyelash extensions online course. And the best part about it is that it's free! Oh, yes, baby! You guys are so lucky, you know why? Because I had to pay for this course. And you guys get it completely free. That's an advantage. Every Thursday evening, we will be uploading videos. In the description box below, you will be able to find a link, which you will not be able to find that anywhere else but YouTube. And that link will take you to our website, and it's going to have all the products and items necessary for you to follow along with the course. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on the notifications for our channel, just so that you're getting notified whenever we upload a video, which is very helpful. Join our Facebook group. It's exclusive and it's a closed group, so you can only access it with this link, and that is also going to be in the description box below. Hello and welcome back to the FabuPRO online course. In today's class, your very first class, we will be talking about the sponge. You probably have been wondering what the sponge is for. And no, it is not for you to apply your makeup, even though it would be a good idea. It is actually to build technique. And that is what we are going to do today. You will be needing the following materials for this session: mini curved, classy, medical tape, crystal, a sponge, Fabu drizzle adhesive, mascara wand, C curl, 0.12 and 13 millimeters. We will also be needing the 16 millimeters from the C curl mix tray. To peel them, I use the mini curved or the skilled, which have like a fine point, and I will not be using to apply the extension. Why? Because there's glue under here. You don't want your tweezers to become sticky. So what I like to do is I kind of slide them under very carefully. I try to find the separation between the strip. That's a horrible example, but that's actually going to happen. So when that happens, I try to find the other side, and like I said, I slide the tip of the tweezer right under, because it's almost like a sticker. There we go. And then you just peel it right off. What I like to do is I like to set my extensions on the table. You can set them on the table, or you can set them on the back of your hand. My preference is to set them on the table, just because it is a lot easier for me to work. I feel like I'm faster when I have it on the table or on my working space. So now I'm going to grab my crystal, and I'm just going to set it. Then we're going to grab the sponge. We will be using the rim of half of the sponge. Alright, so we're going to grab the medical tape, and we are going to secure the extensions. I like to keep my tape right here on my index finger, just because I can peel it off and apply it, rather than applying it and picking up the tape again and applying it. So I just feel like it's just easier that way. We are going to grab the crystal and put it far away from our working space. We don't want to get the glue on our hands. We're going to grab the sponge and put it right here. We are going to put the mascara wand somewhere nearby. We're going to take our Fabu drizzle glue. We're going to just shake it up a little bit before we open it. And we are going to apply 1 drop of glue. And now we're going to grab our classy tweezers. These are very easy to use when you are first starting. What you want to do is you want to grab the extension, and you're going to pull it towards you. We don't want to grab the extension too far down. We want to grab it closer to the tip on the top, just so that we have enough space when it's time to place it onto the sponge. Alright, so now we're going to pick up the extension and pull it towards you. The thing I like about the classy tweezers is that it has a triangular tip, which means that when you try grabbing an extension, even if you have 2 or 3 on there, it's only gonna bring out 1. When you grab the extension, you wanna make sure you're grabbing it from the top and you're pulling it towards you. That way you have space to work with. When you're gonna set it on the person's natural lash, you have space to wiggle. Now if you grab the extension too close to the bottom, you don't have that much room to work with. And as you can see, the tweezer is getting in the way of the placement. Which is why, if that happens, you want to put it back on and pick it back up. That way you have more space, you see? When it comes to dipping the extension into the glue, what you want to do is dip the extension right at the center and slowly pick it back up. You want to make sure you're dipping it right at the center so that there's no excessive glue. One of the things you do not want to do when you're dipping the glue is dipping it straight down and picking it back up really fast like this. You do not want to do that. Why? This is too much glue, which is going to make the client feel very uncomfortable. Their eyes are going to be watery, it's going to burn, and it's also going to stick to all the extensions that you have already placed. Another bad example is to dip in the extension way too far out. It may not look as bad now, but once the glue starts drying on the outside, the glue is going to get tacky and you're going to get bubbles. Another bad example is if you pick up the extension too close to the bottom, like I explained to you guys earlier, you don't have that much space, right? So once you're dipping it, you're going to end up applying glue onto your tweezers, and your tweezers are going to get stuck. Once you are comfortable picking up extensions and also comfortable with dipping it into the glue, now we can do both and apply it onto the rim of the sponge. One of the good things that the sponge is for is to help you with your technique. It is also going to help you become more steady. You do need a lot of practice in order to become very steady. And sometimes this will happen where they crisscross. You can just take it off. It's not a big deal if they do, because natural lashes do crisscross. They're not perfect. And what we are trying to do here is we are trying to recreate the look of a natural lash. We are trying to put them as close as possible. The goal here is to apply the extension with the least amount of glue. A bad example of picking up too much glue would be this. And you can see that on the rim right here, there's a black dot of glue. There should not be any signs of glue on the sponge. Alright, so you can see there's a little bit of space between them, not too much, and you can definitely see right there where I used too much glue. And now we're just going to keep lashing until we fill at least half of the sponge. once it gets tacky, you want to clean off the glue. This is just my personal opinion, because if you have too much glue on the crystal, it can get on the client or your hand and it can become a really hot mess. So then you just grab more glue, like that. Alright, so sometimes if you put them way too close, they might get stuck. Oh, it just came off. That's completely fine, just as long as you catch it right away and just continue to wash. So now that I changed the glue, you can definitely see the difference. It is no longer bubbly. And you can see that there's no excess glue down here. Alright, as you can see, we have already finished the sponge. All we can go ahead and do is just let it dry a little bit, and then we can just softly brush out the extensions. It just helps you know that you did a good job and that the extensions are intact. It's okay if one or two come off. The most important thing is that a lot of them don't. Alright, so now that we have let the sponge dry with the extensions that we just applied, what we're going to do is we're going to clean off this glue. And we're going to apply the glue. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to pick up our mini curved tweezers, and then what we're going to do is we are going to begin to separate the extensions. And you can just practice on separating them. There you go. You can also use your tweezers to separate. Sometimes that helps too. I know I like to do that sometimes. So once you feel more comfortable separating the extensions, what we are going to start doing is we are going to pick up the 16 millimeters, dip it in the glue, as we spoke earlier, how we taught you how to do that, and we are going to put it right on top of this extension that represents a natural lash. The good thing about applying individual classics is that you can apply them from either side. You can apply them from the bottom, you can apply them from the top, from the sides, whatever's more comfortable for you. Just very carefully dip it into the glue and apply it on the lash. For me, it's a little bit more comfortable just applying it from the top or from the side. And when you are applying the extensions, always make sure to leave a little gap. Why? Because you do not want to stick it too close to the lid. And this right here represents the lash line. And you just want to leave that small gap right there. Once you're more comfortable applying the extensions, you will get a little closer, just because the more practice you get, the better you will get. So just keep that in mind. It's better to keep them a little further out rather than putting them too close. Putting them too close to the lid is going to make it very uncomfortable for your guest. It is going to poke their eye. It is going to burn. It is going to be very, very, very uncomfortable. And those are things that you want to avoid. You don't want that to be uncomfortable for your guest. It's always better to leave a gap rather than to put it too close to the lid. Another thing is that if you put it too close, and I'm going to give you an example right now. So if you put it too close, let's say right here, that's basically touching the person's skin. If you're doing that, once you take it off, you are going to be pulling on your clients or customers' actual skin. And you don't want that. That is going to be extremely uncomfortable for your guest. Alright, so if an extension comes off, you can just add another one of the 13 millimeters right there. It's not that big of a deal as long as you cover that gap. And then we're just going to continue adding the extensions right on top of the other extensions. You can see that when you apply the extensions, they almost act like a magnet once they have the glue on. They just come together almost as a magnet. You can see I'm not using too much glue. You can't even realize there's any glue on there. Or once you put them close, they just come together. If you take too long to apply the extension and you're just moving around and you just can't get your weight on there, you can see that the extension is no longer sticking. Why? This glue dries from 1 to 2 seconds. It is not going to stick once it's already dry. So this means you just have to reapply glue. So like I was saying, if you just take too long to apply the extension, it's not gonna stick. So that's why you always have to make sure that you're moving fast but very carefully at the same time. when you're applying the extensions and separating, you can rest your hand on the table, or if you're working on an actual client, you can rest your hand on the tape. It'll be much easier and you won't be shaking too much because you'll be able to just stabilize your hand on the tape. So now that you got to work with the sponge, what did you think about it? Was it hard? Was it easy? Now I want to encourage you to keep going. I know it's kind of tough when you're just starting something that you're pretty new at. Don't give up. Keep trying. Remember, patience is key, especially when you are trying to become a lash technician. Now you can go to our Facebook group and let us know how you did. See you in the next video.